Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Core Scope Insights. We're so glad that you're hanging out with us tonight. Wesley Bray here. I'm your host. We've got a very special guest in with us tonight, Mr. Mark Evans from XCI Zoning. So, Mark, welcome to the show tonight, and glad to have you on. And can't wait to do an interview with you and talk about some of the great things you've got going on at XCI Zoning.
Thanks, Wes. It's real pleasure and real joy to be here with you.
Absolutely. So tell everybody out in the listening world that may not know what XCI is. Been around for what, 25 years
We've been
now?
around for 25 years. We're an aftermarket zoning company. We manufacture everything in Lubbock, Texas. Our boards come from a contract manufacturer in Texas. So it's all American made. We feel like it's a product that will appeal to just about anybody out there that needs to do zoning. When we designed, this is our third generation platform. Before we even started designing on this, I went and had a bunch of focus groups with contractors around the state that did zoning and to find out their likes and dislikes, what they wanted. Because my thinking is don't build a product unless you know who your market's going to be. And the only way you're going to do that is go ask your customer what they want.
Right.
So that's what we did. And this is what came out of that. One of the first things that they hated was dip switches. The silk screen on a board never lines up with the switches. You can't figure out which way you need to be switched up. So we said, okay, no more dip switches. They said we want it to be easy to set up. We want to be able to make it easy if the fuse is blown. So we've added all those features onto the board. We also built it. It's a push button setup, very electronic. It's very easy uh, to set this thing up and ready to go. If you're on a gas electric system,
Mm-hmm.
all you got to do is get it out of the box and hook it up. 'Cause it's ready to go for gas electric.
Wow, that's broad. So plug and play right out of the
It's a plug
box.
and play out of the box.
Very, very
But
nice.
if you have a heat pump, if you're going to set up for fresh air on the board, if you've got some other features that you want to adjust, it has a step-by-step menu that you go through. Now,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to get a list out and hunt your option up in the list. You just press your setup button, and it'll take you through a step-by-step setup process, asking questions. Has a lot of adjustable parameters. The low temp and high temp cutouts are fully adjustable. Your staging is done internally on the board based on time and temperature, and those parameters are adjustable to customize it for for a customer. An example of that is out of the box. We set it up so that on a heat pump system, if you don't reach 90 degrees in the supply air within 8 minutes, we'll bring on auxiliary heat. Well, what we found, and this is how it's so easy for us to make adjustments on this board fit the market,
Mm-hmm.
is we found that with when we got into our 410A systems, it was very often that system would hover at 92, 93, 94 degrees so that auxiliary heat would never come on. For some people, that's not warm enough for them, particularly if you have an older couple that had a big old gas furnace in their house and they've opted to go to a high efficiency heat pump and the air is just not as cold or not as warm as they're used to. So they feel like they're cold all the time. So we raise that minimum threshold to 95 degrees, and it's also adjustable up to 115 degrees. We've got a 10-degree adjustment there because some people don't want their auxiliary heat coming in. They're fine and comfortable at 95 or 96 degrees.
Right.
Then we had people that, well, yeah, it stages in, but it's not staging in fast enough. So your staging time is adjustable down to as fast as 3 minutes. So
Wow.
you can custom tailor this to your customer's needs at the home and set it up so that they're comfortable. We do the same thing with the two-speed systems. We have an algorithm built into it. So the staging is done based on elapsed run time and supply air temperature. But if you're a contractor and you prefer to do the staging based strictly on time, you can set that option up and stage it at either 10, 15, or 20 minutes. The other option on auxiliary heat on heat pumps is we had an issue up in the mountains in Utah. Those guys are all snowbirds.
Right.
So they're off up in the mountains. They don't have natural gas, so they're running heat pumps and they're running propane.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with an 8 minute staging time, that on a cold day in the mountains, that heat pump would never get up above 90 degrees So it would turn on the gas furnace. Well, they're burning propane, and it got to be pretty expensive. So we added an extension so you can actually stage your timing out as far as 20 minutes, and that solved their problem up there. So a lot of the changes in this board have come about from experience in the field. We'll
Sure.
get it out there into a market. We'll find some things that, hey, this would really be better if it worked like this. Something that came out of the Florida market is the staging for two stage to go into second stage
Right.
is standard out of the box at 8 minutes.
Right.
Well, in Florida, if it's 100 degrees outside and 95% humidity, and you've had your thermostat set back to 80 degrees, when you come home, you don't want to wait 8 minutes for that thing to go into high speed.
Not at
So
all.
you can
Right.
adjust it down as fast as 4 minutes and stage it in faster.
That's the beauty of it. I was really impressed when taking a look at the product with the quality, and I had your board here. We got it setting here. If you want to show some of the folks out there in the listening world the board that XCI has, and talk about the easeability of it. You mentioned no dip switches on there. Everything's kind of like what I call radio knobs, push and play with speaker wire
Right.
almost.
Well, the first thing you notice, we're in a clear case.
Sure.
So you don't have to walk up to this board and take the cover off to tell what's going on. We've also have lots of lights on here. There's LED lights on all of these thermostat inputs to show you the calls coming from the thermostat. This is the equipment block. We have lights up here that show you the calls going to the equipment. And then down here on the damper inputs, we have red and green LEDs that will light up and show you if that damper is open or closed. So when a technician walks up to this board, he can look at it. He can see on here if it's running in cooling or heating. He can see his calls coming in. So if he's on a gas electric system, he's seeing a Y and a G on thermostat one. He needs to be seeing a Y and a G going out to the
So that's
equipment,
right.
and he needs to see a green light on damper one, and the rest of the dampers closed. So we put a lot of information on here to make it very, very easy for the technician to troubleshoot. Another thing is if you come up to it and the screen is blank, but you've got some red lights on, just looking at it in the dark, you can't tell if this fuse is good or not.
Right.
And 9 times out of 10, they grab their tool belt, but they didn't grab their own meter. So we added an LED light up here. Technicians asked us to do that. So if this fuse blows, there's a red LED light that lights up and it says change your fuse.
Smart.
And
And
we
you got
also
extra
pack
I
an
see an
extra
extra
and we
fuse
pack an
down there at
extra
the
fuse
bottom.
with it, so in case they do blow one, they're out in the field, they're not having to go to the supply house and pick up another fuse.
That's great.
So we built it to be extremely easy to install, extremely easy to set up, and extremely easy to troubleshoot. There's no screwdriver needed. You strip your wires and plug them in. If you need to take the wires back out, there's an orange tab release. You press it down, the wire comes back out of it. So we really wanted to make this very quick, very simple, very easy to install so the technician can get on the job, get it done, and get out without having to spend a lot of time.
Great. That's really very informative. Thank you, Mark. And like I said, the craftsmanship that went into it, you can tell some planning and all the algorithms that you worked out and have done so much to try to make the board better for the contractor out there. So, because most contractors they want to install something and walk away from it and not have to go back. But talk about the warranty that you guys add with the product.
We offer just like everybody else in the industry, we offer a 5-year warranty on all of our products that we sell. We do build a damper that works with the Carrier, Infinity, Brine Evolution, Comfort Maker ion system. And those dampers actually have a 10-year warranty. So we try to match whatever the original equipment manufacturer, we match their warranties.
Sure.
Another thing about our 10-year warranty dampers is you do not have to register them. There's no serial number on them. We just ask you what the install date is. And we have a 5-year warranty here. There is a serial number on the back, a date
Sure.
code, but this thing could have sat on a manufacturer or a distributor shelf for a year before they ever sold it.
Right.
So we don't get into an argument. If a technician says, I installed this thing 4 years and 11 months ago, we're going to cover it.
Sure.
After a discussion with them too, a lot of times we'll go out even longer than the 5 years if they're
Right.
having a problem with it. So we don't want to get into a fist fight with people. If you've got a problem, let's take care of the problem and we're going to make it right with you. Another thing we do, a common failure on everybody's zone boards are these temperature sensors. They're 10K. And what you'll find after a couple of years when you
Could
get
you
in,
hold that up and kinda
yeah,
show
when
the
you
audience what they're getting? It's your basically your basic
this
temperature
basically
sensor.
10K sensor
Right.
has a 10-foot cord on it. After a couple of years, sometimes these things will fail.
Mhm.
And it's not just us, it's everybody. Everybody, these all pretty much come out of the same factory overseas. So we could say, okay, you're going to have to send this back in. We're going to check it out, and then we'll talk about if it's going to be warranted or not. So he's had to spend $15 in freight to get get a little old part back to us. So we're not going to argue about that. When we have a distributor set up that's selling our product, we send a box of these out and tell them put it under your counter. If a technician's got a bad sensor, and I don't care how old it is, don't ask. If he comes in with a bad sensor, swap it out and give it to him.
Excellent,
Take care of the
excellent.
customer.
Absolutely, customer comes first. So, I like the customer service, and you guys, you guys seem like you've got your act together as far as making sure the product's out there. But you guys have also got some new products that you're saying is going to be out early 2026.
Yes, Wes, we have a couple of new products. One of them is a 3-zone residential new construction controller that's going to be extremely economical. It'll be a 2 heat, 1 cool board.
Hmm.
Very simple. It won't have a display on it, but it'll do everything that you need it to do for residential new construction. And we
Sure.
also have a new fresh air controller that we're developing. I think it'll probably be out by second quarter next year. So we can offer a full freestanding fresh air package for people that are not using zoning, but that do need fresh air in their home. So we'll have a controller and a
Right.
damper for that as well.
Right. Now, is am I understanding correct? You guys are not doing thermostats. You don't have a thermostat. Is that correct?
No, years ago we had a couple of different lines of thermostats, but when you go into a supply house, they already have every brand
Right.
there.
Right.
You'll a lot of times find 6 or 8 brands of thermostats.
Sure.
And I noticed some of that today when we were touring around. Even saw some thermostat brands that I haven't seen in a while.
Right.
Uh, but anybody's 5-wire thermostat works with this. And if you have a battery powered stat, 4-wire stat will work with it as well. So we felt like with the plethora of thermostats that are out there in the market,
Sure.
it works with everybody's stat that we didn't feel like we needed to get into the thermostat business. We would prefer to concentrate on the control side of it and doing what we do best.
And talk about you made mention to me earlier something that I found very interesting. You said that most 1 heat, 1 cool thermostats will work with these boards. Is that
That's exactly right. Because we do all the staging internally in the board,
right?
you just use a 1 heat, 1 cool thermostat. Even on a heat pump system, when you go through the setup on this board and tell it that you're using a heat pump, it'll ask you what type of thermostat on each zone. And you select whether you're using a gas electric stat or a heat pump stat. And that way the board knows how to handle that call that's coming in. And that's very advantageous for a technician. Let's say he's out 25, 30 miles out in the country on a Friday night at 6 o'clock, and he needs a heat pump thermostat, and he doesn't have one. All he has is gas electric. He can put that gas electric on this system and go into the setup and say, hey, I now have a gas electric system on a gas electric stat on zone 2. The board will know how to handle the call. So if it's a system that's set up for reversing valve on O, when that thermostat sends a Y call, the board knows that that's a cooling call. It'll go ahead and turn on the reversing valve to the equipment without having the reversing valve input coming from the thermostat.
Wow.
These boards also, if you need more than 4 zones, you don't have to have a special separate 4-zone expansion board.
Hmm.
Um, One of our competitors years ago had a board that was just a 4-zone expansion board, but this sat on a distributor shelf for years a lot of times gathering dust. So what we did, again, wanting to try to limit the number of products that you had to carry around with you on your truck, this board will also work as an expansion board. You
Sure.
can expand this system, add up to 9 expansion boards, up to a total of 40 zones
With the same board.
with the same boards. You don't have to
Really?
have a special board. So if you need a 5-zone system or a 6-zone system, you take a easy 4F and an easy 2F and pair them together. Go into your setup. You set one of them up as an expansion board, and it knows how to handle the calls.
That's very interesting. That can be very advantageous to a contractor that's out there. Really neat. Some neat aspects about that.
Really, in
So
particular, and even really and it's great for commercial jobs. I have a bank down in Central Texas, has a 20-ton package unit on it, and I think I showed you the picture. They've got 5 of these 4-zone boards in their utility room all tied together, operating 20 zones in that bank. And that thing's been now running now for nearly 12 years
Right.
without a hiccup. Haven't had to replace anything on that system.
Says something about the quality of it. Well, folks, we're going to take a quick break here just to recognize some of our sponsors that make this show possible. We thank you for joining in. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Okay, just out right after these messages.
CrawlBuddy is a versatile device created by a field service pro, first of its kind. It is a tool case, tool sled, transport device, and more. Heavy-duty contractor grade. Ready for any conditions. Work smarter. Be faster. Connectable sleds tow 190 pounds. Glides over wires, pipes, and vapor barriers. Built-in razor device. Zip tie chamber and multiple tool pockets. Turn horrendous jobs into money-making jobs with CrawlBuddy's towing system. It's just easier. Low-profile design makes it ideal for those super tight spaces. Carry everything you need to make fewer trips, never too low. If you can go, Buddy can go. Equipped with a rotatable work light, powerful magnet tray, CrawlBuddy by far exceeds the capabilities of an ordinary tool bag. Technician-provided solutions so you can get in, get done, and get out.
On every job, big or small, one adhesive brand keeps America moving. Electrotape, a family-owned company proudly headquartered in the U.S. and trusted by pros who can't afford to guess when it comes to quality. Need electrical tape that holds strong in the toughest conditions? Electrotape has it. Looking for painter's tape that delivers clean, sharp lines every time? They've got that too. From underground marking tape for utility crews to heavy-duty masking tape for contractors to everyday painters and prep tapes for home projects, Electrotape has the right tape for every job on your list. Durable, reliable. When you need a tape that works as hard as you do, reach for the brand that covers it all. Electrotape, tapes for every job. All right, so we're back after the break. We're finished. Going to continue talking with Mark Evans here with XCI Zoning. So, Mark, a lot was you laid out a lot of really informative information about the board and the benefits and features for the contractor. Let's just talk a little bit about how your boards can interchange with other dampers and how competitor dampers can also interchange with your boards.
That's exactly right, Wes. The majority of aftermarket zoning systems are all 24-volt AC, and the damper is either going to be fully open or fully closed. We don't modulate. So our dampers will work with the competitor's zone control board. Our zone control board will also operate other competitors' dampers. So we're all kind of interchangeable with each other. So some people may prefer to use another brand of dampers, and I do have some customers that they have a certain damper that they like, not necessarily mine, but they've got another one that they like, but they'll go ahead and buy an XCI board and drive it. So everything is interchangeable. So if you get into a situation where you can't get exactly what you need, you can use our board or our dampers in place of what you already have in place in the field, and everything will work just fine.
Sure. That's the beauty of a lot of products now is the interchangeability. Some have it and some don't. Some are proprietary, but I think it's a neat feature that y'all have put on the board and the products.
Something else that I
Yep.
didn't mention when we go to with all the new A2L,
Right.
we're one of the first and maybe the only ones in an aftermarket zoning application that actually have the A2L function built into the board. It's built.
Wait a minute. Whoa, what are
It
you?
is.
Wait a minute. Are you? Well, all right. Stop the press, guys. This is very important because it's all new to us, and we know that the A2L changeover has been a debacle. So let's repeat that there, if you don't mind, just for my own ears as well. That's going to be huge in the market for you guys.
Right.
So touch on that again.
We're one of the only, I think we're probably the only controller in the market right now that have adapted our board, work with A2L without having to wire in any relays, run it through a thermostat. I know one of our competitors, it will only work on A2L if you use 2-wire spring open dampers. And they have the dissipation board kill power to the zoning board, which makes the dampers open. We decided to go a different route. We have an extra terminal here on Zone 1. It's called EC,
Can
and
you hold that up a little bit?
you bet.
Face it towards our camera
So
here.
the bottom terminal on Zone 1 thermostat is labeled EC. Now, there's different functions this does. If you just are using it every day, you can tie in a building control system and energize that at night. And when you do that, only the Zone 1 thermostat can call for equipment. The other zones can open and close their dampers, but they can't turn the equipment on. You can set this up on a two-stage system and put a two-stage thermostat on Zone 1, connect your Y2 terminal to the EC terminal. If you come in and turn that thing down and the thermostat makes a call for second stage, it'll force the board into high speed after 1 minute, and it'll run in high speed all the way down to the low temp cutout. If you need to do A2L dissipation, you bring the wire over from your dissipation board, plug it into EC, turn that function on in the setup, and now if there's a signal from the dissipation board to turn everything off and leave the fan running, it's exactly what we do. We turn everything off, leave G running to the fan, and open all the dampers. And it will stay in that mode until the dissipation board drops its call, and then it will go back into normal operation.
That is very interesting. I can see where that could be a huge benefit for contractors out there. Absolutely. Want to get into, I think we've talked a lot about your board, and your board is very impressive. I have represented other companies' boards before, and, I can see why this would be, talked to several contractors who have used your product, and they've told me that, hey, it's a great product, does a good job, and they're using it. So, but also I've seen the durability of your and everything, the quality that goes into your dampers. Could you talk a little bit about your
Yeah,
dampers?
Wes, this is our POC. It's a power open, power closed damper. This is a 6-inch model.
Mm-hmm.
If you'll notice, this
Got
is
the
a
camera this way here, so
okay.
yep.
This is a very heavy duty rigid, more like a commercial cylinder. We're not making it out of thin 26 or 28 gauge. We don't make it out of spiral pipe because those dampers will bend, bow, and collapse. And once you get a damper out of round, it won't operate anymore. So we've gone with a real heavy duty, these are 24 gauge up to through 10 inch. And then from 12 inch and up, we build them out of 22 gauge. We have a solid aluminum shaft. Some of our competitors are using plastic shafts or plastic paddles. They'll break. If you mount a damper with a plastic paddle too close to the heat strips in a heat pump system, it will eventually, over a period of time, warp the shaft and the damper stops working. So we went with heavy duty aluminum shaft. We have nylon drive bushings. Our actuator has a clear cover on it, has red and green lights in it. So if it's red, it's closed, green is open. If it's moving from open to closed, it's going to flash red to let you know that it's moving. So you can go up into an attic and look out across there. You can look at your board. If you have a green light on zone 1, you can look out here to your zone 1 damper and see if you've got a green light on there. So it's just some other tattletales to help a technician to quickly diagnose a system if he has a problem. These dampers are bulletproof. We have a real nice seal. They have less than 1% leakage, probably less than 0.5% leakage. And any amount of air that might get by around where the shaft goes through here never makes it to the register.
And they have been tested, so
They've been tested.
we have proof that
We have run one of these for 200,000 cycles
really.
constantly on a cycler, just sitting there opening and closing, and ran it round the clock 24 hours a day and put 200,000 cycles on it. And it's still running fine, no noise, running smoothly.
That's impressive.
Also, on this damper, mechanically, there's nothing that's going to break on this damper. So if you have a failure in the field, if it quits working, all you have to do is pull a nut, loosen some screws, take this off, put it back on, just change the motor out. You don't have to change out the whole damper. Makes it quick and easy. We also make these in 2 different 2-wire models. We also have fresh air dampers that are power open, spring closed. So we have a wide variety of round dampers that we can fit just about any application.
Wow. Can I see that,
You
please?
bet.
Nice damper. Nice quality. You also have a damper here with you. You want to talk a little bit about this? A rectangle damper here, and
Yes, this is a rectangular damper. It's gear driven. You can see the gears in here. Most of our competitors' rectangular dampers, and I'd say probably all of them, are all driven with pins and linkages. So they will tend to get loose over time, get to where they don't close up all the way. And also, a lot of them, all the blades open the same direction. So if you have these blades that all open up the same direction, you're going to throw air against the side of the duct and you're going to get a lot of turbulence down through there. So what we did is we have an opposed blade damper. So as it opens up, it forces that air to go straight down the ductwork. So you don't have that problem with this. These are available in any size that you need, as small as 6x6 out to whatever dimension that you'd want. The only restrictions on size is on this side here with the damper actuator. Because of the 2-inch gear spacing and the blade sizes, these have to be in even 2-inch increments on this dimension.
Right.
This dimension can be anything that you want. And
We can expand on
you
out.
can expand on out. If you have a odd size, weird duct size, we can custom build this thing to fit your duct.
What's the oddest size you've ever seen?
It was a 48 by 60
Really?
that was being used for a fresh air intake.
You see more of the rectangular or square dampers probably used up north more so than here.
Really
I mean, we don't see a lot of them in the south.
No, it really depends on the market. Up in the mountains, up in Utah and in Idaho, they do a lot of rectangular duct up there. They build a lot of flat roofed houses and put ductwork in the crawl space between the ceiling and the roof deck. So those are it's all rectangular dampers up there, and they're bottom mount. Um, and that's pretty much what that market is. There's some round dampers, but I would say in that market up there, they're probably 70% rectangle dampers.
What would you say, Mark? Going back to a question I asked you, but I wanted our listening audience to hear this. Where would you say XCI kind of got its footprint and where did it begin to stretch out from? I mean, talk about that a little bit and where you've had success with the XCI brand and, what contractors have said about it. I think that's very important for our listening audience to know about is, because in the South, here in South Carolina, we haven't seen XCI as a competitive brand here. So hopefully you guys are looking to change the story on that as well, right? Going forward. And
we are. We're real big in Texas and out in the West, up in the mountains, Idaho, Utah. We do have a distributor in North Carolina that's been out here for probably 30 or 40 years. It's a young man. He's second generation now that has bought that business. So we have quite a bit of it scattered around in eastern North Carolina. But we've never been into the South Carolina, Alabama, Georgia, kind of the southeast region that much. So that's why at this point we have all the bugs are worked out. Everybody loves it. So we thought this would be a very good time to come out into this market and start introducing it and allowing people to see this thing and getting it in their hands.
Yeah, and it's an awesome product from what I'm seeing, folks. So if you haven't used XCI, what I do want to say is in talking earlier, if you're a guy that's doing, you said 50 or more.
You're doing 50 systems or more a year. We have an RNC pricing program. If you're higher volume than that, high volume RNC contractor, we'll do special quotes.
Really?
Because we want the business. If you're a contractor who's been looking at it and thinking about it, and if you're maybe using another competitor's brand that you're in love with, we'd love to give you a zoning system, the zone board and the dampers to put a system in and try it out and see how you like it.
Well, you can't get any better than that. I mean, that's like getting to bounce the basketball before you buy it.
There you go.
Make sure it's got enough air in
That's
it.
right. That's right.
Well, that says a lot. That says a lot about the quality and what you're willing to do for a customer, and that shows a customer that you've got skin in the game. So, very impressive with that. Mark, so talk about the staff, the people that you all have working for XCI Zoning, and so you mentioned you've got some very tenured people that have been on board for a long time.
I do. My office manager, who's also the quality assurance manager for the boards, has been with me for 8 years. My plant manager / quality assurance manager has been with me for 19 years.
Wow.
And there's not a damper that leaves that shop that she doesn't look at. And if it's not exactly perfect, it goes back down to whoever put it together to make it perfect. So we make sure we double test it. The person putting it together runs an mechanical and electrical test on it. When she gets a hold of it, she checks to make sure all the bolts are tight, that it operates freely, and then she does another electrical test on it. And then everybody that has worked on that damper, if you'll notice here on the side, we've got little stickers with initials on that. So this one in particular, AG, was the person that built the damper, and MP is the person that inspected it. So if for some reason this damper were to come back, I know who to go talk to find out why that damper wasn't perfect when it left. But we just don't get the complete damper assembly back anymore. We do occasionally have a motor failure, which you're going to have because it's electrical. And anything that's electrical is eventually you could have a problem with it breaking. Most of them we get back have been over voltaged in the field and they've been burned up. But we cover it. If it's within 5 years, we're going to replace that motor for you, and there's not going to be any questions asked.
That's awesome. That's
But I
awesome.
have a crew of most of my people have been there at least 6 to 7 years, but I have 4 people that have been there for over 10, some of them over 15. So we have a well-seasoned crew that have been building this product for a long time.
Mhm.
So we just don't have any problems with our product coming out of the plant.
And one thing that really struck a chord with me that I thought was very impressive is, your what you're willing to do for a distributor. So we're going to talk to all you distributors out there that may be watching tonight, or if you're affiliated with a distributor or a salesperson, and you think that you have a customer that could use this product and benefit from it in their system, whether it be an RNC guy, correct me if I'm wrong, but RNC guy or a change out guy or someone doing multifamily. All these are opportunities with XCI zoning products. And what I really struck a chord with me going back to that is you had mentioned that if a guy or distributor wanted to bring on your product that hasn't brought it in, what does a distributor need to do to place a qualifying order to get freight allowed coming to them?
Well, our freight minimum for an order is $7,000, and it's
Okay.
prepaid freight. And we've ended up having to raise it last year because freight costs have gone up so much, 30 and 40%.
Sure.
So we set a $7,000 floor on it. And what's that's
I
done
like
is,
Snickers bars. They went up on my Snickers bars too.
I know,
Everything's going up.
everything's going up. We used to have a $5,000 minimum. So what we found now is we're still selling the same amount of product. We're just not shipping as many orders.
Right. The mortgage
So
rate did go down to drop a little
that's
bit
right.
today.
That helps a little,
That
but
helps a little bit.
most of our freight is driven by fuel costs,
Right.
and it hasn't come down much.
Sure.
But on the first initial stocking order, we'll pay the freight to the distributor on the first order.
Oh, that's impressive. That's impressive.
And out in this market, we're based in Lubbock, Texas, so you can get LTL freight or FedEx ground freight. It's out here in 3 days. And if you need it quicker than that, we can also ship it overnight.
But does the stocking order have to be 7,000 or
Stocking
more
order
to
needs to be
qualify?
$7,000.
So a stocking order is qualified, but you
Well,
will pay.
let me back up.
Okay. Yep.
On the initial stocking order for a distributor, I don't really care if it's $2,000 or more. We'll pay the freight on that first order.
Mm-hmm.
And
But that's your initial time to
that's
get everything you want, correct?
That's right.
I mean, so let's say, for instance, somebody wanted $2,000 worth of zone boards, 2,000 or maybe $1,000 worth of dampers. So you got $3,000 worth of product that qualifies for initial order, but that's the only time XCI is going to pay the freight.
That's correct.
So
unless it's $7,000 or more.
the next one or next
That's
order.
correct.
Okay, so I just wanted to clarify that, make sure that distributors knew about that. I think that's a great way to work with distributors on what you've got going there. So very impressive. I just wanted to kind of go back and punt on that, back up and punt to make sure we had the correct information. So we're going to take another break here, folks. Just bear with us, and we'll be right back as we recognize our sponsors that make the show possible. We want to thank you for sticking with us. We'll be right back, and we'll be finishing up with our famous spin the wheel. So, if this is your first time watching a CoreScope's Insights podcast, hang around. We're going to spin a wheel. Everybody that submits a suggestion or ask a question, any correspondence at insights at CoreScopeUS.com. That is our email address. So email your questions, anything you have, to insights at CoreScopeUS.com. And we're going to spin the wheel as we always do. We're going to see what the excuse me there. We're going to see what the wheel lands on prize wise, and then we're going to jump into our golden prize monkey wheel over here, and then we're going to get something pulled out and find out who wins a nice prize. So we'll be right back. How much is your time worth to you? Think about it. Another weekend lost to mowing, trimming, edging, and yard cleanup? While you're out there sweating, life is happening without you. At Barker Lawn Care and Landscaping, they believe your yard should work for you, not the other way around. From routine lawn maintenance to full landscape services and even sprinkler installation, their team handles it all with reliability, quality, and care. So go ahead, get your life back. Spend your time where it matters most and leave the yard work to the pros. Call Barker Lawn Care and Landscaping. Call them today at 803-240-0449. Can we all agree that in today's workplace, strong performances start with strong character? At Yes to the Joy, they understand that employees who feel supported, balanced, and confident become the leaders who move organizations forward. Their programs are designed to strengthen and help individuals establish healthy boundaries, set meaningful goals, and develop practical strategies to protect their peace and maintain focus. With flexible self-care workshops available, Yes to the Joy delivers measurable value for organizations committed to improving productivity, communication, and workplace culture. Never been a better time to invest in your people, empower your leaders, elevate your organization. Choose Yes to the Joy, where strong character builds strong results. Find out more at www.plcjourney.com. Welcome back. It's that time of the night. We're getting ready to close out the last segment. But before we do, I've asked Mark, since he's our special guest tonight, to spin the lucky prize wheel over here. So, Mark, we always do this on every show weekly. So we have a prize wheel here. We give away prizes. We have Visa gift cards. We have 50. All of our gift cards are $50, except for we do have a $100 Visa gift card. So weekly, someone's going to win either a $50 gift card. They're going to our Visa gift card. They're going to win a $50 Bonefish gift card, folks. We've got $50 to AMC Theaters, $50 to Outback Steakhouse, $50 to Walmart, Home Depot, and then we also have a $100 gift card on there. We've got hats, T-shirts on here as well, so you can win a CoreScope item or a coffee mug. And we also have prize packs where you win a hat, a coffee mug, and T-shirts. So just to let you know that all these prizes are on the wheel. We'll spin it one time just to kind of get it started, and then Mark, we'll let you spin the wheel for everybody. See what we got. See what the lucky winner is going to win tonight. Yeah, give it a wheel. There we go. What is somebody winning tonight?
$100 Visa card.
$100 Visa card. All right, outstanding. So we're going to move the wheel now, Mark, and we're going to move this golden spin wheel up here, and then we'll let you spin that wheel and set them up real good. Someone's winning a nice $100 gift card. Christmas time's coming up. We hope you spend it wisely. Spend it on your loved ones, and keep tuning in to CoreScope because you can win multiple times. Okay, so we just made that. If you submit more questions, you can go in the pot to win multiple times. So, Mark, you shook it up pretty good.
Yes, sir, I did.
All right, reach in there and pull out a winner.
Hold on. This is for Kenny Outs at Mac Heating and Cooling.
All right, Kenny, you have won a $100 gift card for a Visa gift card. So thank you for participating. Thank you for being a fan of CoreScope Insights. We're going to get this out to you, and maybe a kicker, a little bit of another prize. Maybe we'll get you a hat or something. So thank you so much. All right. Thanks, folks. Stay tuned. We'll be all right. Thanks for joining us again after we spun the wheel. We've got a winner tonight, but we've also going to finish this up with Mark. Mark's been a great opportunity to sit down and interview with you. Thank you for being in the show tonight.
Yeah.
Before we go, though, I have heard that you guys at XCI have some pretty spectacular customer service, and also that your tech support, when you actually call, you talk to somebody. You want to elaborate on that a little bit?
That's absolutely true, Wes. If we have a contractor in a hot attic and he can't figure it out, we want him to call us. If he has any kind of problem or issue that he doesn't understand, we want him to call us. And when he calls this number, we have it silk screened right here on the board. It's 866-924-2875. When you
Repeat that again.
866-924-2875. When you dial that number, somebody's going to answer that phone that knows what they're doing, knows what they're talking about to help you with your problem. And right now I have an operations manager, Trey Roger, that's taking most of the calls. If there's overflow, I pick them up and take them. Those calls ring through to our cell phone. I notice you probably heard today that weird ringtone on my cell phone. That's someone calling in for tech support. Trey happened to pick it up before I did. But we leave our cell phones on 24 hours a day, so it's not uncommon to have somebody call me at 10 o'clock on a Saturday night that's in trouble, and I will help him get through this problem. If the zone board's failed, I'll tell him how to wire around it to make the system run until he can get another board to come out there. But we have very few failures on these. Trey and I have also both gone through a 2-day airflow class in Dallas with the Good Times training program, so we understand airflow. The most important thing in a zoning system is airflow. So we understand all the parameters, how the system works, how everything on this board works. So we will start asking the technician a few questions. One of the advantages there is we can say, what's showing up on the screen? Tell me what you see. Tell me what lights you have on. So it's
Sure.
almost as if we're there in front of the board. We can ask the pertinent questions and then tell him where to go to start looking for his problem.
Right.
But our goal is to be 100%, 110% the best in the business on customer service. You don't have to leave a voicemail and hope somebody calls you back. When you call into us, you're going to get to talk to somebody that's knowledgeable that can help you with your problem.
That's great information, Mark. I just want to chime in if I can. So, folks, those of you wondering, some folks out there's a lot of houses that do not have zoning. So, if you're wondering, and if you're one of those, in many years, don't feel like the Lone Ranger. Before I got into this business, I had no idea what zoning was either until I figured out that, our cars have it now. So, as our innovation has gotten better, our cars now have zoning, and what that is just the simplicity of having a vent where you're sitting on the passenger side, or whether you're sitting in the driver's side, or whether you're in the back seat. That is basically zoning, folks, for those of you who do not know. And I'm not trying to knock anybody who may ask the question. We get asked the question all the time.
That's
Why
right.
do I need zoning? And so we go into that and we actually, we talk about what zoning is and what benefits it has. So if you can be comfortable in your car, but at the same time, you can't be comfortable in your home, the zoning is the fix for that problem. So we just want to let you know, anybody can have zoning. Sometimes it doesn't make sense based on the square footage, but if you've got a bedroom or you've got a room over a garage, or it can be any application, zoning is basically being able to be comfortable where you are and where you're spending most of the time in your house. So just wanted to throw that out there a little bit and get that out to folks who didn't know what zoning was.
Yeah, another analogy that I use is if you have one thermostat in your house and when you turn it on, it blows air in the whole house.
Right.
That'd be like walking in the front door, flipping on a light switch, and every light in the house comes on. So for comfort, you might have a room that's too hot in the summertime, it's too cold in the winter. Those kind of problems can be fixed with zoning. Now, you cannot fix capacity issues with zoning. If you've got a 3,500 square foot house and they've put a 4-ton unit on there,
Right.
you're never going to keep up if everything's running. But you can zone that and have those air concentrated into the areas that you're using at the time so that maybe it's in the daytime, you're using your main room in the house, but you don't need to cool or heat your bedrooms. Zoning can solve those problems for you.
Right.
So somebody asks, why do I need zoning? That's why you need zoning, because you're going to be more comfortable. If you have a zone, you're running one zone in a house, maybe your master bedroom at night is the only zone that's going to be asking for cooling or heating. So your equipment's going to run less and you're going to have some utility savings there as well.
Well, that's very nice to know, Mark. I appreciate you iterating on that. I think between the two of us, we made a good analogy for why people would want zoning for those who may have the question or have had that question before. One other thing I want to talk about is training. Mark, you say that for dealers or for contractors that are looking for training, and if they reach out to the phone number, do you also have a certain size before you present a training over a Zoom or anything like that? Or
No, I've in a lot of occasions have done one-on-one training with a contractor, a one truck guy,
Mhm.
and I've done on Zoom training as much as 50 people
Sure.
might be logged in. But we do lots and lots of online training. If you end up with a contractor, maybe he has 25 technicians and he'd prefer to have someone come out to his facility.
Mhm.
If you have at least 25 people there, I'll fly out here and put on a class, and we can talk about uh, our zoning system, but I can also kind of cover just zoning in general, how it works, how to set it up, how to design it, just a full zoning class,
Sure.
just whatever the contractor's needs are.
And a lot of people, you ask a lot of contractors or, I think it's changed over the years. It's evolved, because you used to ask a room full of contractors, how many of you are doing zoning? And hardly anybody would raise their
Hardly
hand.
anybody.
It was sort of the same thing with Wi-Fi thermostats. Years ago, I sold, thermostats, and you would ask a room full of contractors, how many of you are putting in Wi-Fi thermostats? And only two or three, maybe out of a room of 40 or 50 would raise their hand, where that's changed now. So things are evolving, and of course with technology and, our younger generation is getting out there and getting much wiser than, and as things evolve, I think zoning has been a benefit, especially a lot of your new construction now. It's just the way houses are sold now with zoning. So, but like I say, I think we've covered all the sticks. Well, folks, we're going to wrap it up. Mark, you have anything else you want
I
to say
really don't.
tonight?
I think we've covered everything pretty well, Wes, and I appreciate you having me on the program.
No, it has been a pleasure. I think we look forward to working with you in the future. And guys, if you haven't tried XCI Zoning, please give Mark a call. Great products. We just want to make product awareness about a great product and let you know what this company is willing to do to earn your business. Like I said, from what I've heard Mark say, you're not out for orders. You're out to earn someone's business.
That's exactly right. I don't want to just have somebody just order it to have it on the shelf. I want somebody to buy this product and use it. And of course we want to sell a bunch of it, but we need to get it into their hands where they can try it out. So that's why we're offering up some free systems out here in the Southeast where contractors can try them out and see how they like them.
Well, you can't get any better than that as far as customer service and going to be a bit above and beyond. You go in a lot of stores nowadays, you want to try things out, you got to take it out of the box, and then you get fussed at. You can't take that out of the box.
That's right.
So I like the fact that that's great customer service. Well, folks, that's going to wrap it up for us tonight. Thank you for tuning in to CoreScope Insights. We hope you've enjoyed the show. We have certainly had a blast here with Mr. Mark Evans with XCI. And until next time, we're going to send it out together. Mark, is that all right with you?
Yeah.
On a 3, 2, 1. Good night.
Good night.